Okay, listen, we all gotta admit when we make some mistakes, which I'm about to do. But first, let me remind you all about the saga of my bag of expired film. So, a few months back, I acquired a bag of expired film, which I intended to shoot through all of 2024. It's been pretty slow moving, not gonna lie. I've been pretty preoccupied shooting medium format once I got my Bronica. I predicted early on that most of the rolls in the bag of expired film were between 10 and 20 years of expiration. The last we heard about this bag was when I shot a test roll of Portra 160 NC, and I analyzed my results. Back in the original video, I said this about when it came time to shoot the Portra 800 that was in the bag. When it comes to the Portra 800, I'm looking at shooting it at ISO 200 just to, give it 2 stops because of its faster starting ISO and potentially faster sensitivity loss. Well, here is where the mistake, unfortunately, comes into play. I decided I was going to shoot this roll of Portra 800 because I had 2 portrait sessions back to back that I was going to be shooting, so I thought, hey, it's as good a time as any to go ahead and try this roll. However, when I was loading the film, I instinctively, for whatever reason, set the ISO dial to 800, which is 1 stop over box speed, thinking that that'd be enough, because I'd forgotten about my original plan. And boy, do I wish I had remembered the original plan. A quick recap before we get into the photos. Why was it a bad thing that I overexposed by 1 stop? I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do with expired film? Well, color negative film gets less sensitive with age, we all know that. But the speed at which this happens is proportionate to how fast the film was in the first place. So fast film loses speed quickly, and slow film loses it slowly. So a roll of Portra 160 is on the slower end, so a change in sensitivity might not be so noticeable. Whereas something like Portra 800, well, you'll see. Like right now. Let's take a look at the photos. So the thing we notice across the board is that they are for sure at least 1 stop underexposed. There is a massive amount of grain, but that was probably to be expected anyway, given that high-speed films have more prominent grain in the first place. The shadow detail, or lack thereof, is where we could tell that there was a good deal of underexposure. For these photos of my friend Renee, it probably didn't help that I was constantly shooting photos with her back to the sun. Her face always tends to be in shadow, and that is not so easily recoverable by upping the shadow slider in Lightroom. The film was also just lacking in sharpness all around. I shot the roll using my trusty Ricoh XR2 with an XR Reconon 50mm lens, and look, it isn't the greatest lens on the planet, but I know that it's sharper than this. I ended up going to Jacob Riis Park at one point down by Rockaway Beach, and I saw these horses just chilling out there. This photo I actually feel was properly exposed. It's no surprise that the ones with more light in them seem to just feel cleaner overall. Actually, an interesting thing I noticed is that the photos taken last on the roll, like the last 10 or so, actually all seem a bit cleaner and don't have as much visible grain or signs of degradation. Maybe that has something to do with the part of the roll that was packed most densely inside the canister actually degrading slower than the outer layers. I don't know if there's any science out there to back that up, so someone let me know in the comments. But wait, let's take a step back and examine why this happens. What is actually happening when film expires? Specifically color film, because black and white film is going to be a bit different. But in order to answer this, we have to get pretty technical. So what are the layers involved in a strip of film? Well, first we have a protective layer of clear gelatin, a blue sensitive silver halide recording layer consisting of gelatin in which silver salts and a color coupler are embedded, a yellow filter layer which absorbs the blue rays of light not absorbed in the blue sensitive layer but lets through the green and red rays, a green sensitive layer, an interlayer of prepared gelatin which prevent dyes produced, especially during development, from migrating from their own layer and hence spoiling the image, a red sensitive layer, an adhesion and substratum. The base or support is usually made of cellulose triacetate or polyester, and an anti-halation layer which may also serve as an anti-curl layer. So color film is composed of these multiple layers, silver halide grains, and dye couplers. When exposed to light, these silver halide grains turn into metallic silver, while the dye couplers turn into color dyes. During development, say during the C41 process, the metallic silver is reversed back into silver halide, which is then removed from the film, leaving behind the dye images. These dye images, when viewed together, form a color negative image. However, as color film ages, it could develop issues such as random fogging, which appears in different colors due to the film's multiple color layers. And this could lead to something commonly referred to as the confetti effect, or the filmfetti effect, where the noise of the image has different colors in different spots. We can see this pretty clearly in a bunch of my images if we zoom in. Additionally, the dyes of the film can undergo chemical breakdown over time, causing them to change color, similar to how certain paints or plastics or fabrics will change color with age. So I think we could see all of these chemical degradations in play with this roll here. The film simply just became weaker over time. There was a bit of fogging going on here that you didn't see because I showed you the edited versions of these photos. So here are some side-by-sides of before and after when I got my scans back from the lab. It's important to note here that even if I had exposed the film at ISO 200 instead of 400, like if I had added 2 stops of light instead of 1, I might have gotten the same or similar results. So as much as I'm beating myself up about screwing up the exposure, it just comes with the territory of the guessing game that is shooting expired film. Also, all in all, I gotta say, I'm not flat out disappointed in this roll. For the most part, I feel like I was able to recover the photos quite a bit in Lightroom from the scans that I got back from the lab. And I actually got a few photos that I'm pretty happy with. Photos that do show off that classic film look. Now, this look isn't something that I generally strive for in my photos. I know that many of you out there do, but for a test like this, I can't hate on it too much. The photos at least look pretty unique, and at the end of the day, I did learn a pretty valuable lesson. I only wish that I had another roll of Portra 800 in the bag, but what are you gonna do? Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really can't wait to shoot some more of the expired film that's in the bag. I got a lot left to shoot and a lot left to show you. I'm actually currently working on a roll of Ektachrome E200, so be on the lookout for that next month. You could follow along the whole journey by hitting the subscribe button and hitting the bell to be notified when new videos are released. You could also help support this channel by becoming a member. Find that join button. For a few bucks a month, you can support me and this channel into the future and maybe down the line get some perks. I'm still working on that part. You could also help support me by considering buying a print from my print shop at darkroom.com. Head over there. There's some good stuff, really high quality images that I know that you'll love. And last but not least, go ahead and hit me up on Instagram. I want to connect with everyone out there who's watching the channel. Let me know what you want to see out of this channel. Show me some of your work. I want this to feel like a community. I want people to get involved. So go ahead, find me on Instagram. You'll find my name somewhere over here. And with that, I'm going to cap this video off with my favorite photos that I got out of this roll of expired Portra 800. And I will see you all next time.